Dr. Ethan Trowbridge, the meme, the man, the myth, the non-existent person, invoked because of Hurricane Matthew. A supposed Iowa State climatologist and U.S. Geological Survey geomagnetism scientist. I don't think those words mean what you think they mean. And all of this has to do somehow with sticking Nibiru in, because if you stick Nibiru and any current subject, you'll get views on your channel. Look up the same subject. You're probably looking at this video because you were trying to look for, confirmation bias videos about how Hurricane Matthew must be caused by Nibiru. There are still, and I've asked for someone to send me any kind of credentials or any kind of research, there's still no results for Ethan Trowbridge or any combination of that name as an author or creator for any Iowa State University PhD graduate program. By looking through their online library catalog of dissertations, theses, and peer-reviewed journals, and conference proceedings, or even membership. Nothing. While it is possible something wasn't stuck in there, claiming you have credentials at a particular college and them not being able to be verified means that you need to make the effort of verifying them. No, it's not a pseudonym. The meme posted on Someone's Bones website was done to give a false sense of authority to this subject. This person doesn't exist. And yes, I contacted the U.S. Geological Survey. They have no record of anybody like that. They said, we can't find this person. Now remember, they're not that stupid. They could find out if somebody worked with them or for them. Anyway, so the claim that Nibiru will ravage the earth at 2,000 feet above the Adirondacks at some unspecified date. Everyone does this whole Texas sharpshooter thing. Well, something happened, was the prediction for this time. No, we never predicted when it would happen, because then it would pin you down and you could be wrong. Anyway, it's not backed up by anybody who has a supposed 14 years combined experience at U.S. Geological Survey and in climatology degree studies. And again, if it was a research studies, if it was a research PhD, there would be evidence somewhere, because if you don't have proof that you researched something, you're not permitted to have the PhD. So it's a diploma mill not associated with Iowa State, which means the person's lying, which means immediately you should assume that there's no credentials. Or this person simply doesn't exist, just like every other noted scientist, including the dead ones, on Someone's Bones website. I've caught him repeatedly in the past posting a picture of somebody. See, this is the dead scientist. We should feel sad. He was killed by NASA. And then you find out, no, it's a bricklayer in Chicago and he's still alive and he's kind of ticked off. One person managed to go after Someone's Bones website, who's run by somebody who uses a pseudonym that's similar to Vladimir Putin's middle name, and explained to them that they had to take down the picture of their actual dead relative that died, who isn't a scientist and didn't die anywhere near where they were said to have died. These degrees are awarded by universities that qualifies the holder to teach at a university level, so they can work at a university. It's kind of a circle smirk. So anyway, in that degree's field, or to work in a specific profession, which is what it's used for in the real world instead of just college. A thesis may be part of a course for a bachelor's or master's, while a dissertation is normally applied to a doctorate. But the reverse is true in other contexts at other universities and colleges, or in other lines of work, where they'll treat them the same even though they're not the same. U.S. research doctorates are awarded for successfully completing and defending an independent research presentation in the form of a dissertation, which has not been presented, his name is not associated with it, and you can't have a degree unless you put your name to something. There's no record of this person existing. There's no record at the U.S. Geological Survey. It's a fake story. And it has been since July when it first came up. So what happened on Someone's Bones is, oh look, Hurricane Matthew's trending. I'll just shove his name in here, some expert scientist with an opinion. Just like every other one of them. If anybody cites Someone's Bones page, or a video that cites Someone's Bones page, they have failed to prove their point, because the source is not just incredible or non-credible, it's bullcrap. And all that requires at least 3 years of graduate study by but professional degrees using this term in their title, including PhD in philosophy do exist, and they are all able to be, and that doesn't require as much research. So a philosophy student claiming to be a climatologist and claiming to work for the U.S. Geological Survey, but about geomagnetics, you can't do that with a philosophy degree. So it's not a philosophy degree, and yes, even that I checked. Doesn't exist. And yes, I've checked all the other universities. This is weird that the person who made up this meme picked a name that couldn't show up. Sounds like somebody did their homework for once, because the last time they did it, they used names and pictures of people that I could track easily. This one's easier. You can't track me and prove that I'm lying at someone's bones, Mr. Fake Button, because I made up a name that isn't in any university, because it doesn't show up in any universities. It does actually show up accidentally on a LinkedIn profile for a beatboxer, but anyway, or something like that. Anyway, these degrees can be rescinded or revoked by the university that awarded it for plagiarism, criminal or unethical activities of the author, malfeasance, manipulation of the academic evaluation process, or just plain old lying. But you'd have to do something really serious. You can also have it removed by lying about your credentials. So none of the outcomes that would cause this person not to be trackable say that the person is worth listening to. On that university library lookup, and I did it again, you can do it yourself, I'm leaving the links below. 0 results for Ethan Trowbridge as the author or creator of anything, even philosophy papers. Okay? I didn't limit it to anything, just any damn thing. A combination with Ethan or Trowbridge anywhere in a file at all with the word climate showed 45 results. None of them including Ethan Trowbridge. But at least it came up with climate, climatology. I even looked up geomagnetism. That didn't even show up at all. It was 0. 166 results for Ethan and Trowbridge anywhere in the files, but still no Ethan Trowbridge mentioned in the files. They were all referring to historical figures. All of these were referring to other people who are from like a century ago, or someone named Ethan something, or something Trowbridge, but not Ethan Trowbridge. Again, evidence of absence is not... No, it is evidence. The evidence is this person never actually did any of this. This is a lie. You get 2,600 results, 2,700 results for Trowbridge anywhere in the files, or just author-creator, which means it was just within the files. That's how I figured out the differential of this. That's how I figured out how to do this. If it shows up just as often for author and creator, or anywhere in the files, then it's just the name Trowbridge, which apparently is just common enough to show up. And 11,000 results for Ethan author, because Ethan's a common name. Trowbridge is less common, and Trowbridge shows up just as easily anywhere in the file as it would in the title or whatever, and it's the last name of someone who isn't Ethan. And nowhere, anywhere here is Ethan Trowbridge showing up. And yes, I did on it. I finally gave up after about... I just kept spiraling out from Iowa. Nothing. Maybe he turned left at Albuquerque. Next. I'm including all of the archived links I can get a hold of, because they take up too much space when I put them in, like blog, yada, 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 something, for you to look up all of this stuff. Domain name registrars for various archives are available too. You can look up the origins of the person saying, oh, I got it from a web page. They're all down here. Or you can decide to believe that you're going to put on blinders and be narrow-minded and short-sighted, even though I'm nearsighted, and ignore the fact that this person doesn't exist. It's not a pseudonym. It was never claimed to be a pseudonym. It is actually someone just posting a fake story, trying to get views and trying to get trending on Google Trends or whatever. And yes, all of you out there that actually believe in Nibiru, you're rewarding people who are lying to you constantly. And you punish people like me who tell you the truth. It would be trivial to prove that there is a planet that people have claimed consistently. This is the consistent thing. I'm going to do this as a reveal. People who believe that they see Nibiru in the sky are indicating that Nibiru is a detectable, consistent, orbital body around the sun. Even though a lot of them claim the Earth is flat and the sun orbits the Earth, it doesn't matter. They're claiming it's consistently up there. Conveniently, just a little bit off axis of where you would find a lens flare. Okay, planet lens flare. That's fine. I'm perfectly okay with that. All you have to do is do something very similar to the challenge done by Daz the cameraman. Everybody on the same day go out for a full day, beginning of the day and the end of the day, during fall, winter, spring, and summer, at the height of those times. For 1 year, actually make the effort to be astronomy people, and set up more than one camera, clamp them to a frame so that they point equally straight, and point them at whatever you say will cause Nibiru to show up, lens flareism, whatever, and a telescope with a camera attached to it. You can get a cheap telescope and put a simple camera on it. Get some funds together and do it, or just more than one camera, and at the same time, take the images in multiple locations so it's coordinated. If you get consistent patterns, take the cameras and rotate them like this, so you can see if the light travels with it, if your little planet stays where it's supposed to, or if it moves. This is not complicated. This is photography 101, but it's also detect my screw-up 101. You want to detect whether or not you're fooling yourself, right? Or are you lying to yourself on purpose and knowing it? Or are you lying to everybody you talk to because you want to torment them by harassing them, by saying over and over again, Nibiru's out there, I'm going to go to heaven, whatever, no one cares. But if you're going to be one of those irritating psychos on the side of the street with the sandwich boards, admit it. Just admit it. Same thing with flat smurfers. You can do a consistent series of experiments, but you have to do the experiment that proves it, because you're seen compelled to do it. So do this test. Actually do it. No one has to prove anything to you. We've got literally now 2,000 years of life on this planet. We got 2,000 years here. Okay, it's year 2000 plus. We have 2,000 years of knowing the Earth is round and being able to prove it with really dumb-ass easy methods. If you're going to prove the Earth is flat, you got to do a lot more work. Same thing with an extra planet. This is the same challenge I give to that idiot who demoted Pluto, because he's an idiot. Yeah, Pluto isn't really a planet. I understand that. But I'm going to say this to be annoying because you demoted Pluto. Pluto killer's a jerk. But he was able to prove his point by a preponderance of the evidence. If all of you Nibiru people out there, if you Nibiru bros out there are going to prove this, actually make the effort to prove it and acknowledge that if you can't get a consistent response from what you're looking at on, give yourself a week during summer, a week during winter, fall and spring, at the height of it, before and after the solstice or whatever. Actually test this. Really do it. Do it during daytime because that's when you guys see it. Unlike every other planet, you only see it during the day. And you don't want to acknowledge it's a lens flare. Okay, this is the nom de plume, this is the SOP, this is the BBS of it all. I don't know where I did that word from, but get the idea. If you're going to do this, look for consistency in response. If you do not find consistency in response, then you have to acknowledge that it's an inconsistent and non-provable statement and go on. You won't do that. I can test 109 volt batteries and get slightly different voltages between them, but they'll group around a mean. There'll be this bell curve. It's something that happens, whether we like it or not. It's even alluded to as a joke in the movie and in the book, Jurassic Park. Even when you manipulate the results to get rid of it, it comes back. Because that's how reality seems to work most of the time. Not always, but most of the time. So let's try that. Can you do the Nibiru challenge? Stop going to Someone's Bones website in this little circle, Björk, of you guys patting yourself on the back and being more clever than everybody else, acting like you're not doing elitism. Actually prove that you can do that. I'm not asking you to prove Nibiru exists. I want you to prove you can do a consistency test once and acknowledge that that's a minimum requirement. Just like checking batteries to see if they're really all 9-volt batteries. This is elementary stuff, my dear what's-ups. Why don't you do it? Because you know unconsciously that you can't unless you fake it? Every one of you guys who've been caught faking are really bad about it. The Carpoticus stuff that me and Logan keep catching idiots at is amazing. This is almost as I'm sorry, but this is almost as easy as proving that Hillary Clinton is a bad IT manager. Thanks for watching. Have a good day. Good luck with it. I'm sick of this stuff.